Hello everybody! Welcome to the first lesson of I Love English channel, or tutorial, or learning experience, whatever you call it. What is important is that we'll learn two new phrases today, which are to grow up to be and you know what? In the second place, we'll watch an interesting, very funny video fragment from season 3, episode 4 of Friends sitcom. I must say, it's the favorite TV show of mine. I love it, it's funny, I recommend you to watch it too, okay? And in the final part of this lesson, we'll learn two new prefixes, a and im. These are similar in the meaning, but at the same time very different. We'll learn that difference. Okay, if you're ready, I'm ready too. Let's get started. Okay, folks, here we are with the first expression of this day, today. It's to grow up to be. What does it mean? You've probably heard the simple version of it, to grow up. Okay, to grow up means to age, to be an adult. But to grow up to be is a slightly different expression. You grow up to be a doctor. You grow up to be an engineer. You grow up to be a scientist or whoever you want to be in the future, okay? For example, in the sentence, we can use it like this. Mothers want their children to grow up to be doctors, for example. It's just a sentence. It could not be true. Mothers want their children to grow up to be doctors. It means that mothers want their children to be doctors when they grow up. As you see, this expression makes the previous sentence simpler. In the first case, you can say, mothers want their children to be doctors when they grow up. But you can put it simply like this. Mothers want their children to grow up to be doctors. Okay. Recently I've read an article. It was about doctors. It was written by a physician. The name was "Don't Let Your Babies to Grow Up to Be Doctors." The name was ironic. Actually, the writer recommended readers recommended readers to let their children be doctors when they grow up. Okay, but I've also learned the fact that at the time when this article was written, 9 out of every 10 physicians stated that they would not recommend their profession to others because being a physician or a doctor is very hard and sometimes dangerous, maybe. Okay, there's a second case that you can use this expression in a slightly different way, which is like this. To grow up to be plus-like. Someone could want to grow up to be like someone, okay? Now, it's mostly used when talking about children again. Most children want to grow up to be like their dad or like their teachers, okay? It's also a useful way that you can use this phrase. Okay, enough ways to grow up to be. I think you got it. Let's pass to the second phrase of today. Okay, you know what? It's the second phrase that we'll learn. It's actually not a phrase, but more of a sentence. But it can be used in very different situations. Very useful expression. It is used when in a conversation you want to grab someone's attention. After saying one thing, you say, you know what, and add another thing. More precisely, if you want to narrow down your opinion or say it more accurately, you use this expression. For example, I say that I love my mate. Yeah, I love my mate. But then, actually, you know what? You know what? She is the only one that I love. Okay, when you say I love my mate, someone can understand that you have many mates and you love all of them. But when you say, actually, you know what? You are narrowing down your thought. You say that she is the only mate that I love. The same, similar sentences, but second one is more accurate. Why? Because you use, you know what? Actually use this expression to state this more precise phrase or sentence. Alright, there's a second case also that you can use this expression, you know what? It's again different. When you want to change your mind, you stated some thought or idea, and now you want to say opposite of it. You want to say that I changed my mind. Then you can use this expression, you know what? And this instance we'll see in the video fragment. In the following video fragment, two girls and a boy are arguing about whether their children should play with a baby toy, a doll or not. Okay, it's interesting, it's funny. Watch it, hear it, and I will write down the script and explain the pronunciation tips as well as these expressions. Okay, see you after the video.
Okay.
So it's got a doll, so what? Unless you're afraid he's gonna grow up to be in show business.
This wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that he's been raised by two women, would it?
You know what? It's fine. If you're okay with the Barbie thing, so am I.
So, welcome back. How was it? It was very funny, I think. But if it was not funny, don't worry, okay? It could be funny for some, it could be not funny for some others. Alright. Here's the script, what those people talked. The girl one says that actually, before diving into the pronunciation tips, I want to give information about what was that conversation about, okay? Those two women were the parents of that boy, the child, and the man was the father of the child, okay? Now, the women bought a baby toy, a doll, for their children, for their child, but it was disturbing for the boy because he didn't want his boy to play with a girl toy. That's why the argument occurred there. And the girl once said, so he's got a doll, so what? Unless you're afraid he's gonna grow up to be in show business. Now, the first pronunciation tip here is that English people, especially American English, tend to join words when they pronounce it. Okay, they don't say, so he has got a doll. They join it and say it faster, which is very useful pronunciation tip. You can use it too. Join the words. say it like this. So, he's got a doll. He's got a. You can join these and you can join this. So, he's got a doll. So what? And with the words that start with WH, the question words, be careful not to say what, but say it more mildly. Say it what, like W, what. Say it like your lips don't touch, okay? What? So what? Unless you're afraid he's gonna grow up to be in show business. Here, I noticed that how she pronounces this sentence part by part. It's very useful. You can say it all at once, like, unless you're afraid he's gonna grow up to be in show business. You can say it, it's great, but it's hard for someone who is not English. It's called fluency. It will help if you try to divide the sentence into meaningful parts and say it part by part. While you're saying the first part of the sentence, you will have time to think about the next words that you'll say, okay? So, in this case, you can part the sentence into these groups, unless this is in itself one part. You're afraid. You're afraid. You say it. Pose. He's gonna grow up to be. This is the, by the way, the phrase we've learned today. He's gonna grow up to be. You say it separately. He is gonna grow up to be in show business. This is the last part that you say. Okay? The girl says that. You're afraid that your boy will grow up to be in show business. In other words, he'll be like close to girls, like gay or something, okay? And girl 2 says, this wouldn't have to do with the fact that he's being raised by 2 women, would it? She says it real fast, I know. Even I couldn't be able to catch it, but there were subtitles when I first watched it and I saw it. Alright, this wouldn't have to do. First you say this part, this wouldn't have to do with the fact that, it gives you time to think about the fact. What fact? With the fact that he is being raised. He is being raised by 2 women. Okay? Would it? Actually, there is a grammatical situation occurring. This wouldn't have to do with the fact that he's being raised by 2 women. Would it? It's a useful grammar, but we don't talk about grammar here. So, at the end, the boy says that, you know what? It's fine. If you're okay with the Barbie thing, so am I. Now, as you notice, he uses the phrase, you know what? And changes his mind. Firstly, he was arguing that his boy cannot play with a girl toy. But at the end, after what the girl said, he changes his mind and uses this phrase, you know what? I'm changing my mind. It's fine. If you're okay with the Barbie thing, so am I. Here also you can notice that words can be joined and said more mildly and faster. Okay? You know what? You say it all at once. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You don't emphasize the T. Okay? It's fine. It's fine. you can even skip it. If you're okay, you're okay. Join these with the Barbie thing, with the, not with the, with the Barbie thing, so am I. It's also a useful piece of grammar. So am I. So plus to be plus personal pronouns. But we don't talk about it either. Okay, it's all about pronunciation tips, and I cannot understand anything here really because it's a messed up word here. Okay, no problems. You understand it, don't you? Okay. Okay, we talked about the video fragment we watched, and now we're in the final part of this first video lesson. We'll talk about two prefixes, a and im. Let's write them down. A. Firstly, I will explain this. A is a negative prefix. Oh, okay, I was scared. Okay, A means not, or without, or not related to, not caring about. I have actually written down a sentence here as an example. I will read it and explain it. It's no use asking him about the political system or the parties. He doesn't know or care. He's completely apolitical. He's completely apolitical means he's not related to politics in any way. He's not interested in politics. He does not research or learn things about political systems or the parties. That's why it's no use asking him about these issues. Alright? And second sentence, she didn't know the difference between right and wrong. She had no conscience at all. She was simply amoral. I will write down these words: apolitical and amoral. Now, amoral means not caring about the moral standards. Not knowing the difference between right and wrong is called being amoral. Okay? But here is our second prefix, im. And when you add this to the word moral, it becomes immoral. But it's also negative, but not the same meaning with amoral. Now, what is the difference? If she is amoral, she simply doesn't care about the moral standards, the right and wrong. What she does may accidentally be wrong or may accidentally be the right thing, okay? But if she's immoral, she intends to do the wrong things. She knows the moral standards, she knows what is right and what is wrong, but she prefers to act like an immoral person. She does the wrong things, okay? And knows it. That's the difference between a and im. Im has the meaning contrary to, whereas a has the meaning not caring, not knowing about. Okay? Okay guys, we're done for today. Don't forget to communicate with me in the comments or via email, whatever you like, and suggest your ideas, what can be improved in my lessons, what can be deleted overall, okay? And I will consider them, I will put them into my lessons. See you next lessons.